obligation to issue dividends. Okay, but they just have a priority, right, to receive dividends next year. Pretty clear one about the concept. So I want you, let's look at this example. So the shareholder equity include those items below, right? So we have common stock. So this is a par value, right? Additional paid-in capital. So this preferred stock, we have this is par value, this is additional paid-in capital, right? So these are the shareholders' equity. And then the board of directors declare cash dividends, okay? Cash dividends for those 360, 500, 700 for those 3 years, respectively, okay? And let's determine the amount of dividend to be paid to preferred stock and common stock, okay, in each of those 3 years. Let's assume the preferred stock is accumulative and non-participating. Okay, so let's work on it one by one. So let's look at this. First thing, what we're gonna do. Okay, first of all, let me this part. First of all, you look at how much we're supposed to pay preferred stock. Okay, so we're supposed to pay 8%, right? You can see that's 8%. Talk about the dividends, okay, to preferred stock. So this is the total par value. So 8% times $6 million. Okay, so you got 480,000. So 480,000 is the dividends we're supposed to pay every year to preferred stockholders. That makes sense, right? Because that's called 8%. Okay, so we're supposed to pay 480,000 to preferred stock, and then remember, preferred stock has priority to receive dividends, right? So they need to receive dividend first. Then whatever left will be paid to the common stockholders. Okay, so now let's look at those one by one, right? So let's look at 2015, right? 2015, you know, remember we're supposed to pay 480, right? But we only have 360. Okay, that's why you can only issue 360, right? Pay 360 to preferred stock, but we're supposed to pay 480, right? Okay, we're supposed to pay 480. So then we call that, you know, unpaid amount is called the dividend in arrear. Is that correct? Dividend in arrear. Okay, those are unpaid dividends in this year, 2015. So which is what? Which is 120,000. That makes sense? Dividend in arrear is 120. Okay. So of course, nothing left for common stock. Remember, common stock is, you know, they have less, you know, priority, right? So you need to take care of preferred stock first. In this case, we even won't be able to take care of preferred stock. Okay, that's why nothing for the common stock. Okay, dividends. Clear, right? For 2015.
Yes.
2016. Okay, so remember 2016. What are you gonna do? You want to take care of this one first, right? You want to take care of dividend in arrear first. Okay, so 2016, you want to take care of this 120,000 first, right? And then you're gonna pay 480, right? 480. But remember, 120 plus 480, you're gonna be what? 120 plus 480, you're gonna be 600,000, right? But however, we only have $500,000, so you can only pay not 480, right? You can only pay 380. Is that correct? That's that one. You can only pay 120. You need to pay 120 first, right? And then you pay 380. You know, instead of 480. Okay, 380 is part of 480. Okay, that makes sense. So that's why total is 500. Okay, and then you have what? What is unpaid amount? It's 100, right? You're supposed to pay 480, but you only paid 380. Okay, so you have 100. It's called a dividend in arrear.
Oh, excuse me. Where did you get 380?
380 is remember 180. You pay 180 first, right? Then you're supposed to pay 480.
Oh, okay.
180 plus 480 already 600,000.
Oh, okay.
More than 5. That's why you know, because this you want to make sure this is only 500. That's why you got a 500 minus 120. You got a 380.
Oh, okay. Oh, so for 480 is for every year? I mean
Yeah,
the.
for it every year. Yeah, yes,
Okay.
it is. That's why every year you're gonna pay 8%.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
Thank you.
for it. Okay. So then, how about for the common stock? Nothing, right? Because you not even be able to take care of preferred stock. Okay, so you cannot pay for common stock. So that's the 2016. How about 2017? 2017, we're gonna take care of 100, right? Remember this one, dividend in the rear as a priority now, right? You want to take care of this 100. 100. No, it's bad. Let me write it down carefully. You're gonna take care of this 100, right? Then plus, what are you gonna do? You're gonna take care of the 480, right? 100 plus 480. So total is what? 580. Okay. So you're gonna pay 580 to preferred stock, 580. So remember now total you have a lot of cash now, right? So total is 700. 580 you take care of preferred stock. Then you have 120, right? The remaining parts you're gonna go to the common stock. Okay. And this is non-participating. When you pay to a common stock, you don't pay anything to the preferred stock. That makes sense, everyone, about this called the distribution of dividends. Remember, preferred stock has a priority. Okay, so we do have one homework question just like this. Okay, just make sure you practice. Okay, I'll make an announcement about the homework question and I'll post the solution online today. Okay. So that's the preferred stockholders. Any questions regarding the preferred stock? That looks good.
Yeah, we good.
Okay, great. Yeah, so feel free to ask questions, okay? Because this is the good things for the online class, okay? Nobody gonna see you, okay? So don't be afraid, okay? If you have any questions, just talk, okay? Just ask questions. If you don't understand, just ask me. Let me say that again. Just feel free to do that, okay? So this is the preferred stock. Okay, so now let's talk about the stock issuance. Okay, so when we issue stock, so this is a journal, right? We need to write a journal. Okay, and this part, is this is very fundamental, right? So you learned that before. So let's say we issue 10,000 shares of common stock for $100,000 cash. Okay, so this is the situation, right? We issue 10,000 shares, and then let's assume this common stock has par value. Okay, $1 per shares. Okay, $1 per shares par value. So we issue stock, we receive $100,000 cash, right? So when we receive $100,000 cash, we debit cash for $100,000. Okay, and then we credit paid-in capital, right? So because this paid-in capital has a par value, that's what first thing you're gonna do, you want to calculate what is the total par value, right? So $1 per shares, total is 10,000 shares, $1 times 10,000, you got $10,000, right? Total par value is $10,000. That's why you credit common stock for $10,000. And then the remaining parts gonna go to that paid-in capital excess of par value, okay, as an additional paid-in capital. So this is the journal. Okay. And what if this company has no par value? Remember, this company registered in the different states, right? So that state, has no requirement about par value. So this company has no par value, okay? And then we're gonna do. So you're still gonna receive 10,000 shares. You receive $100,000 cash. You debit cash, right? You receive cash. You debit cash, $100,000, and then all of the paid-in capital are gonna go to the common stock, because there's no way for us to separate, right? To separate the par value because no par value. Okay, all the paid-in capital going to go to that common stock. Question on that. And what if in some states, those states that has no requirements, okay, about the par value, but those corporations voluntarily assign some numbers, okay, to its shares. So we call that stated value. Stated value. So the stated value. Let's say this company choose stated value is $1 per shares. It's $1 per shares. Okay, even though it's no par value, but we voluntarily choose a $1 per shares as a stated value. So then we're gonna treat it as like a par value. Okay, so you're gonna receive $100,000 cash. Okay, and your common stock. Okay, you calculate the total stated value, right? 10,000 shares times $1. Total stated value gonna be 10,000. You credit common stock for 10,000, and then whatever the remaining part is gonna go to that additional paid-in capital. Hopefully this is remind you, right? So what you learned previously. You guys okay, right? With these journals.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, let's move on. Okay, so that's just very basic journals, and then let's talk about something else, right? So let's say when we issue stock, but this this is called non-cash consideration. Instead of receive cash, we receive something else. Like let's say invest a building into the company, and then we issue stock for the owner. So what are we gonna do? We need to debit the building, right? Debit the building for certain amount, then we credit the paid-in capital. So the question here, what is the value, right? For how much? Okay, what is the value of that? So the value you have, you can two ways to do that. One is, if this is a public traded company, the value of each shares of stock. Then you can calculate what is the total value of the stock we issued for that building, and that should be the value of the building. What if this company is not a public company? Okay, so it's just a private company. We don't know the price for each shares. And then what are we gonna do? So you need to hire a profession, right? So let the we call it appraiser, right? So you need let them to figure out to estimate the market value of the buildings, and then you use that numbers. Okay, so we call it appraise the values. Okay, so let's look at this example. So this company issue 1 million of the common stock. Okay, this common stock has a par value of $1 per shares. Then in exchange for a custom built factory for which no cash price is available. We don't know the value of the factory, right? But we know we issued 1 million shares. Okay, and then also we know today issue the stock price is $10 per shares. This is the market price for the stock. So, and then we issued 1 million shares. Each shares is $10 per shares. So what's the total value of the common stock? It's 10 million, right? 1 times 10, right? It's $10 million. That is the value of this factory. Okay, so that's why we receive a factory, right? We debit the property, plants, equipment for 10 millions. Okay, and then we're gonna credit paid-in capital, right, for 10 millions. But in this case, the common stock has a par value, right, $1 per shares. So 1 million times 1, total par value is 1 million, right? So that 1 million gonna go to common stock, and then the additional 9 million is gonna go to that paid-in capital access par value. Make sense, everyone, about this
Yes.
question? You guys good, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then this is another situation. What sometimes we issue more more securities at a time. Okay, so we issue several securities at a time. So and then what are we gonna do? Okay, so this example. Let's look at this example. So this company issued common stock, 5,000 common stock, and also issued 3,000 preferred stock. Okay, we issue 5,000 common stock and 3,000 preferred stock together. Okay, totally we issued for 50,000. Okay, so we receive cash for 50,000, right? So we know total paid-in capital is 450. okay? But we want to know what is the paid-in capital for common stock, right? What is the paid-in capital for preferred stock? Okay, so you want to separate that 450 into two parts, right? The paid-in capital for common stock, paid-in capital for preferred stock, right? So then what are you gonna do? So you want to look at the let's say market value. Look at the market value of the common stock preferred stock was 55 per shares for common stock, 75 per shares for preferred stock. So you want to calculate what is the market value for common stock and preferred stock. First of all, common stock, each share's market value is 55, right? So we know that we issued 5,000 shares of common stock. So 5,000 times 55, that will be the total market value of common stock. And similarly for the preferred stock, you issue 3,000 shares, each share 75, 3,000 times 75. That will be the total market value for the preferred stock. Okay, so you calculate those ones first. Okay, so you can see here, this is the market value common stock and preferred stock. Okay, so that's how we get this. Okay, and we got this, right? So those are how we get, okay, the market value. So what's the total market value? You add together is 500,000, right? So $500,000 is the total market value. And then you remember you sell it, you issue these shares for only 550, right? You give them discount, right? You issue at the package, you give them discount, okay? So then you just want to allocate the 450 between this common stock and the preferred stock proportionally, okay? So if you look at the common stock, you want to calculate the proportion, right? So the percentage. So you get a 55%. How to get 55%? 275 divided by 500. So that's how we get 55%. And 225 divided by 500, you got a 45%. Okay, so 55%, 45%. Now, because the total, when we issue those two together, totally we receive 450, right? That's the total market, total value of these two securities. So now 450 times 50%, 55%, you got a 247. 450 times 45%, you got a 202. Okay, so those two are the total paid-in capital for common stock and the preferred stock. So see what we're trying to do, right? So you can see we're trying to allocate, so 455 between common stock and the preferred stock proportionally based on their market value. That makes sense, right? So 247,500 should be total paid-in capital for common stock, and 202,500 is the total paid-in capital for preferred stock. Okay. And what is the total par value for common stock? Remember, total par value for common stock is $10 per shares. You have 5,000 shares, right? So that's the total par value. It's 50,000. Okay. So now total paid-in capital 247. You minus 50, you got a 197,500. So that should be the additional paid-in capital, right? So then you want to write a journal. You can see common stock, you're going to recognize this total par value is $50,000, right? And then paid-in capital extra par value is 197,500. That's how we get 197,500. Okay, of course, total here for the common stock is 247,500. And of course, we receive cash, right? So we debit cash. You credit paid-in capital. And similarly for the preferred stock. Preferred stock, remember, preferred stock total paid-in capital is 202,500, right? So then you separate, right? So you calculate the total par value, which is $5 per shares, right? You have 3,000 shares. Total par value is $15,000. So 202,500 minus 15, you got 187,500. So 187,500 should be that additional paid-in capital. So we should credit preferred stock for the total par value, right, which is 15,000. And then those additional paid-in capital are going to go to this. okay, paid in capital X as a par value. Any question at this moment? Are you guys okay with this type of things?
Yes.
Method? You know, this method, you learn this method in 121A, you know, also, right? Because this method, remember, let's say you purchase 2 equipment, right, at the package, right? So at a discount price. So, you know, what is the value for each equipment? So, you know, you follow the same logic, okay? So it's like this, okay? So this method is very useful method, okay? So we use this kind of logic, you know, if just keep in mind, okay? So you have this, this is this is the method, okay, you use to allocate proportionally. Okay. Any questions so far? I think we can, yeah, I think we can stop here right now.